On Tuesday, 7 January 2025, I received a phone call from witness B. During the said phone call, she informed me that she was in possession of the amendment ballistic report, which she received from Senior Prosecutor Kutse. She told me that Senior Prosecutor Kutse instructed her to attend some additional corrections in the report and obtain a signed original copy of the report. I then informed witness B that I was still on leave for 2 weeks and that I will attend to her request once I'm back at the office. Witness B indicated that the report was urgent as it was needed for court purposes and that if the amendments were not made, the case will be struck off the roll. Witness B stated that she would come to meet me where I was to ensure that we amend the report accordingly. I informed her that I live near Loate police station in Winterfeld, which is few minutes away from my house. We agreed that we would meet at Loate police station. At approximately 1800, witness B informed me that she had arrived at Loate police station. I then drove to police station. It took me approximately 10 minutes to arrive to the police station. I notified witness B upon my arrival. I notified witness B upon my arrival, and she informed me that she was on a black Mercedes-Benz V-Class. I approached the car, and witness B came out of the vehicle together with 5 gentlemen who were armed with rifles and firearms. Of the group of individuals traveling in the Mercedes-Benz V-Class, I was only familiar with witness B. We went into the room at the police station. To have our discussion. Once seated, witness B took out her pocketbook to take notes of the discussion. The group then proceeded to ask me questions about the Vereeniging and Bramley cases. They asked me where the ballistic report was. They asked me where the ballistic report was. When the reports were completed and
let me assist perhaps. They asked me where the ballistics report was, when the reports were completed, and where the respective case files were.
No, thanks, Commissioners. They further asked what the procedure was when ballistic examinations are done. Upon my observation of their line and manner of questioning, it became apparent that I was under interrogation. I started having concern for my safety due to the interrogation. Given that I was only familiar with witness B of all the individuals in the room with me, my concern was in regard to whether I was interacting with the legitimate police officers or not. More so given the fact that I had heard that a police officer was involved in a murder executed in Vereeniging. Thus, I started having questions about the legitimacy and the interrogation and feared for my life. Amid the interrogation, witness B told me that Lieutenant Colonel Mangena attended the Bramley crime scene and that she had impression that the ballistic analysis on the Bramley case will be done by Lieutenant Colonel Mangena. She added that she was surprised to find that the report was done by me. She also showed me her WhatsApp communication with Lieutenant Colonel Mangena on her phone. I noted the chat history that witness B asked Lieutenant Colonel Mangena when should expect to receive a ballistic report, and Lieutenant Colonel Mangena responded indicating he would call her. Witness B sent several follow-up texts which Lieutenant Colonel Mangena never responded to. Witness B and her team...
Captain, just pause there for a moment. In paragraph 47, you say you are in a room and you're now concerned about whether the people who are interrogating you are legitimate policemen. Just so that we are clear, you are in a room at Loate police station.
That's correct, Commissioner.
And there are other police officers there because it's a police station. I'm talking about those stationed at Loate, not those who are part of the V class and witness B.
That's correct, Commissioners. And to elaborate on that as well, Commissioners, even the police officers at Loate, they told me that they felt unsafe to see such a heavily armed police officer. They were not on a police uniform. Let me not say police officers, heavily armed individuals on the police station. And to add on that, even the commander at the CSC requested one of them to see if they are legitimate, to show her an appointment certificate, which she took a photo of that. That itself, Commissioners, shows that even the police, because it was around 6 o'clock, that is the changing of the shift. So most of the police officers were leaving the station. Very few were still checking in. So those police officers who were around there were not feeling safe as well.
Now, did these people identify themselves? You said one of the police officers asked them to show the appointment document. Did they show it?
Yes, they did.
So once they showed that, you were satisfied that they were all policemen?
I was satisfied that they were policemen. But when I say legitimate policemen, Commissioners, I do not say they are not employed into the South African Police Service. I'm saying they could be employed into the police service, but they could be some elements of rotten police officers, not necessarily bogus police officers, because the matter that they came to deal with me is the matter that involved the police officer as well. So it is, I should attend to this with caution, because there is a police officer arrested in this matter. I don't know that police officer, but I had that information that there is a police officer. Now there is another police officer with rifles coming for the same matter. So that is why I'm saying whether legitimate not in a sense that they are not police officers. They are not correct police officers.
No, you've clarified what I needed to be clarified. Thank you.
Thanks.
Just a little bit more clarification on the identification. Earlier you mentioned that, I don't know whether it's what the senior officer at Luat.
That's correct.
Yes, demanded identification. And I thought you said only one of the armed people or persons produced their identification.
Yes, only one.
But later, when Commissioner Kumalo was engaging you, I understood you to be suggesting that more than just one of them identified themselves. Which was it? Only just one?
Only one, Commissioners, showed. But in my mind, witness B is a police officer. That one I know.
Yes.
And now the second one on the team identified.
I just wanted.
Yes.
Don't bother, Kev. I just wanted to know. Was it only one that produced identification?
Yes,
you've confirmed that it was only one. Thank you.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Captain, you had interacted previously with witness B on another occasion. This was the second time that you meet with her, right?
Yeah, Commissioners. Yes, Commissioners. I cannot say is the second time. It might be more than second time, either third or fourth. But we interacted with this case. We interacted while she was bringing the
exhibits?
some exhibits and collecting reports. So there were a lot of interaction. I even had her cell phone number,
Okay.
her personal cell phone number, and she had mine as well.
Okay. So did you have or did you not have a reason to doubt whether she is one of the, I think you call them bogus, police officers, or did you accept that she was a legitimate investigating officer that you could trust?
Commissioners, initially when the investigation started, I took it as witness B was a legitimate police officer investigating the case. Now, it can happen that during the process, she becomes aware that the police officer who is arrested for somehow could be the friends or could know the police officer in other way and turn against me now on the case. Because one thing that I knew at that time, I knew that I made the case positive. All the firearms that were retrieved from Bramley, including the bullet from the body, I made them positive. Now, all of a sudden, you come with rifles. Either maybe I was supposed to make them negative.
Okay.
That is something that came into my mind.
All right. So is the answer to my question that on that night, when you are with them at Loate police station, you also didn't know whether you could trust her?
Anymore.
Okay. Thank you.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Thanks, Commissioners.
You were to start at paragraph 49 before the engagement with Commissioner Kumalo.
Witness B and her team then informed me that they will take me to FSL system to FSL Silverton to obtain a case file for the Vereeniging and Bramley cases. However, I informed them that the lab was closed at that time since it was in the evening. They indicated that a police department is supposed to be open 24 hours and that they had instructions to report back to their commander before midnight. I requested their permission to call my superior, Brigadier Mkhabela, to obtain his approval for us to access the lab at that time, and they allow me to make a call. I had the call on loudspeaker. Brigadier Mkhabela informed witness B and her team that their request to access the lab at that time was impossible and that there were procedures that need to be followed. He also asked witness B why this matter could not wait until the next day, since the following day was a working day. Therefore, Brigadier Mkhabela stated that he is ending the call and that he would contact their commander, who I believe to be Lieutenant General Kumalo. Although I was on leave, I also offered witness B and her team that I was willing to come to the lab the next day to attend to their query with a case file in front of me. However, they insisted that we go to the lab at that time. I received a call from Colonel Lesu, the head of the case management in the ballistic section. Colonel Lesu indicated that it would not be possible to access the case file for the Vereeniging and Bramley as they had been sent to KwaZulu-Natal for further examination. At about 2100, the group took me inside their car and I was asked by one of the male officers if I had my office keys with me, which I confirmed I did. The officers wanted to stop by my house for me to fetch a jersey and I refused. I refused passing by my house due to the safety concerns I had, fearing that would expose my family to the risk in the event that I was in the company of illegitimate police officers. There were 7 of us in the vehicle as we drove to Silverton. Upon arrival at FSL the female security officer at the gate saw my face and opened the gate and allowed the car to enter the premises. We entered the office. One of the male officers with a rifle stood at the door, and I entered the office with witness B and 3 other men. They then asked me to open my computer. I did so by entering my password. They specifically were looking for the ballistic report I prepared for the Vereeniging and Bramley cases. Witness B insisted that she wanted the report, which I printed out and gave to her. One of the male officers asked me if I examined the case files alone, and I confirmed that I did the examination alone. He asked me whether I received assistance from anyone, and I responded stating that no one assisted me. He further asked whether Lieutenant Colonel Mangena had a hand in the case file, and I responded that he did not, as far as I knew. He asked me if Lieutenant Colonel Mangena knew that we attended the crime scene at Vereeniging. I responded indicating that Lieutenant Colonel Mangena is in our standby duty WhatsApp group together with the component head and section head. And as such, Lieutenant Colonel Mangena will know about all crime scenes we attend because we send notification in the WhatsApp group whenever we attend the crime scene. The police officer further asked me if Lieutenant Colonel Mangena was at FSL or not when Warrant Officer Marsha and I returned from the crime scene. I responded stating that I would not know because I went straight to my office when I came back from pit retrieve. One of the male officers then informed me that I will die for shit if I protect Lieutenant Colonel Mangena. During the prolonged interrogation between myself and witness B's team, my cell phone kept on ringing as I received several calls from FSL colleagues. However, I did not answer most of the calls. Amongst the calls I received was a call from FSL duty officer, Captain Holzen, who called asking me what was happening in the laboratory at that time of the night. I gave the phone to one of witness B's team members, a male officer, who explained to Captain Holzen that General Mlauzi was aware that the team was at the lab. At some point during the prolonged interaction with witness B's team, one of the officers in witness B's team then started drafting a Section 212 statement on his laptop on my behalf. While the officer was drafting the statement, the team asked me how many versions of ballistic report for the Vereeniging and Bramley case I had. I showed them the versions I had in my computer. The versions I had were the following: a Microsoft Word version. This version was the one that all the other versions of the report were derived from. The initial changes mentioned earlier, which were based on review done by Colonel Munakali, were done on this Word version of the report, and the rectified pages printed and inserted into the first report issued to witness B in June 2024. Subsequent changes based on the queries raised by Senior Prosecutor Kutsia were also made from this version of the report. A PDF version, this version was the one I scanned and emailed to Senior Prosecutor Kutsia on 22 October 2024. Upon seeing the different versions of the report, witness B and her team started accusing me of manipulating the ballistic report and indicated that they would confiscate my computer. This was just after midnight. Around the time witness B's team were attending to confiscate my work computer, Lieutenant Colonel Shole, Lieutenant Colonel Buota, and Lieutenant Colonel Mangena arrived at the FSL and intervened in the situation. They also prohibited confiscation of the computer and requested witness B and her team to vacate the FSL premises. I later found out that the intervention by Lieutenant Colonel Shole, Mangena and Buota was initiated by the security officer who were on duty that evening. I understand that upon my arrival with witness B and her team in their vehicle at FSL premises, the security officers verified the registration details of the vehicle through SAP's vehicle registrations circulation database. The security officers were concerned by the result of the verification. Thus, one of the security officers called Captain Heisen, who then called me as earlier indicated. Subsequently, I understand that Captain Olsen contacted General Mlaud, who then contacted Lieutenant Colonel Shole and instructed him to go to the laboratory to investigate what was happening. Thereafter, Lieutenant Colonel Shole arranged with other units of the police who physically came to the laboratory to intervene. The ordeal I underwent due...
The ordeal.
The ordeal I underwent due to witness B's team ended up at approximately 2 the next morning. After the situation has settled, we were about to vacate the FSL premises. Witness B offered to drop me home and I refused. I indicated that I preferred to be dropped off by Lieutenant Colonel Shaw, who kindly agreed to drive me home. On January 8, 2025, while I was still on leave, Brigadier Mkabela invited me to a meeting scheduled between the ballistic section management and Witness B's team. The purpose of the meeting was to discuss the issue relating to the events surrounding the Vereeniging and Bramley cases. I initially had wanted to attend the meeting, however, I opted not to, as I was still disturbed by the manner in which I was treated by Witness B and her team. Therefore, I never attended the meeting. I opened a case of kidnapping on 8 January 2025, which is currently being handled by Independent Police Investigative Directorate, IPID. I stand by the fact that I was kidnapped as I did not give the officers permission to take me anywhere and was forcefully taken by Witness B's team. Quality management, non-conformance procedure relating to the Bramley and Vereeniging ballistic analysis. Subsequent to the meeting held between the ballistic section management and Witness B's team, my superiors opted to initiate a non-conformance quality management procedure regarding the ballistic analysis done on the Bramley and Vereeniging cases. The non-conformance procedure was initiated on 15 January 2025. The non-conformance procedure was led by Colonel Motsepe. The non-conformance review identified the errors mentioned earlier above regarding the incorrect cross-referencing of paragraph in my initial report. The outcome of the non-conformance procedure was that the identified errors be rectified in the report and an updated report be compiled and filed. As such, I deposed an amendment section 212 statement on 27 February 2025. The non-conformance procedure was concluded on 27 February 2025.
Was it just the cross-referencing caption? Because I counted 3 or 4 errors. Because one of them was the case number was also incorrect, remember? So why do you say here that it was just the issue of the cross-referencing with the cartridges? I mean, there were more errors than just this one.
Commissioners, you'll remember that somewhere during the process of this report, some amendments were made on the report and corrected. The case number was already corrected at the time. At this time of this quality management.
Yes.
So when quality management reviewed the case, they actually came across where I mentioned a cartridge as a cartridge case. That is the only one that they found. Because the other ones were already, you remember, commissioners, that the other ones were replaced as pages, as I said, only page were replaced and were removed and replaced in my statement.
No, because even this quality management non-performance procedure worries me because it does not deal with all the errors. I mean, the final error that had to be rectified was where the prosecutor said, if this thing is not fixed, the case is going to be struck off the roll. Now, that was not, as I understand, the cross-referencing, because that had been fixed much earlier.
Yes, that's correct. Commissioners, you are referring to the call that I received from witness B.
Yes.
Yes, but that call, when I received that call, that was not the correct call, Commissioners, the correct messaging of the call. Because at that time, when witness B and the team came to me in January, the corrections were already done.
That's exactly my point. That the quality management non-performance procedure, conformance procedure, does not address all the errors from May until, say, January 2025. It seems to be dealing with only the issue of the cross-referencing.
It doesn't deal with cross-referencing, Commissioners. Cross-referencing, you mean the 15 cartridge cases?
Look at paragraph 65 of your statement. You say the non-conformance review identified the errors mentioned earlier above regarding incorrect cross-referencing of paragraphs. So it seems like that's the only thing the review addressed. It did not address the other errors dating back from, say, May 2024 until January 2025.
Yes, Commissioners, they didn't address that.
Then we are on the same page.
Yes.
Because then this quality management procedure worries me because it seems like it was incomplete.
That's correct, Commissioners. May I proceed?
Yeah, please proceed, Captain.
As indicated earlier, I was promoted to captain and transferred to the IBIS
Sorry,
subsection.
Captain. Maybe for the purpose of the transcript,
Okay.
can you just confirm the heading there?
Confirmation of links between the Vereeniging and Bramley cases with other cases. As indicated earlier, I was promoted to captain and transferred to the IBIS subsection as an IBIS analyst commander from 01 December 2024. Due to heightened media attention on the Vereeniging and Bramley cases, the ballistic specimen of the two cases that were acquired on an IBIS system were called up to the front of the IBIS queue in the IBIS system in order to prioritize the viewing of any possible links to other cases the IBIS system identified. The viewing of the possible links or leads in the IBIS system was done by Warrant Officer Mthembu. Warrant Officer Mthembu then prepared an analyst notebook, Linkage, on the report on 17 July 2025, containing the possible links identified. Warrant Officer Mthembu provided the possible links report to me, and I started conducting the microscopic confirmation of the links. I was able to confirm 18 linkages between the Vereeniging and Bramley cases with other cases, which has been marked as Annexure LIM7. I then deposed a Section 212 statement on the 18th of August 2025 relating to the linkage confirmed.
Thank you, Captain. Commissioners, Chair.